Today, our topic is Go with the Grain, Grain Servings for the Child and Adult Care Food Program. We will go over the following topics in this video. Number 1, the importance of grains in a child's diet, including important vitamins and minerals that are found in grains. Number 2, how to use the USDA's free online grains tool to help you figure out exactly how much of an item to serve a child. Number 3, how to use the grain serving size chart in the Daycare Resources Go with the Grain handout. And number 4, what counts as an ounce equivalent serving for the food program. This is the My Plate diagram. It is a great visual that shows what a balanced plate looks like. Children need to eat grain foods each day. This chart shows how many ounce equivalent servings of grain a child needs each day. You'll notice when kids reach the age of 9, boys need a few more servings than girls. It is also important to make sure that half of the grains kids are eating are whole grains. You can do this by serving whole wheat bread instead of white bread, brown rice instead of white rice, serve 100% whole grain crackers, or even use whole grain flour when making baked items. When possible, try and switch the grain up each day. Some options include brown rice, foods made with whole corn flour such as corn tortillas or whole corn chips, oats, popcorn, quinoa, wild rice, or foods made with whole wheat like whole wheat bagels, bread, and tortillas. One thing to note is that popcorn can only be served to kids ages 3 and older, since it is considered to be a choking hazard according to DCFS regulations.
The low-carb diet has been popular across the country. When it comes to the health of children, a low-carbohydrate diet is not recommended. The brain's favorite source of energy is carbohydrates, so when you cut them out, it can have a negative effect on how the brain functions every day. We need our kids to be focused. While all sources of carbohydrates provide the body with calories, the best sources are full of vitamins, minerals, and fiber, and you can find these nutrients in whole grains. Half of the kids' energy intake should come from these high-quality carbohydrate sources like whole grain bread, cereals, and pastas, as well as brown rice. Sugary items such as cookies, cakes, and granola bars all have carbohydrates, but most of these carbs are from added sugar. Although dessert items can be served along with a credible meal or snack, we recommend keeping baked goods and sugary foods to a minimum.
When choosing what grains to serve, choose items that are less processed. Here are a few examples. When looking at grains, choose whole grains over enriched grains. Whole grains are the closest to the way they grow in nature. When grain seeds are harvested, they are whole and have all of their parts. Enriched grains mean that they have been processed, the outer layers have been removed, and then a few vitamins and minerals have been added back to the flour. One simple example is whole wheat bread instead of enriched white bread. 100% whole wheat bread is made from whole grain wheat and can count as your whole grain for the day. Look for 100% whole wheat on the label of your bread. Be careful not to be fooled by wheat breads that are just white bread in disguise, like this honey wheat bread. These breads may be colored to look like whole grain bread or may have a small amount of whole wheat flour. While enriched breads are creditable, you will need to serve something else to count as your whole grain for the day. In order for a grain to be creditable in the CACFP food program, it must be whole grain or enriched. This means that the first ingredient needs to say whole or enriched. The first picture shows an ingredient list of the Gerber Little Biscuits. Notice that the very first ingredient is whole wheat flour, and therefore it is a whole grain. The only other grain ingredient is enriched flour, so this product is whole grain rich, so you can count it as your whole grain for the day. On the other hand, baby mum-mums are highly processed and are mostly starch and simple sugars. The first ingredient is rice, followed by starch and sugar from fruit juice. There are not any whole or enriched grains at all in this product. In fact, since the rice flour is not enriched, these are not even credible on the food program. Make sure to always check the ingredient list. If you have questions whether a product counts on the food program, please contact the office. Let's talk about the nutrients that grains give us. Children need to eat grain foods each day. Grains provide energy and nutrients that are vital to growing bodies. They have B vitamins such as thiamine, riboflavin, niacin, and folate, and the minerals iron, magnesium, and selenium. I would like to take the time and go through each of the B vitamins and minerals that both whole and enriched grains provide. First up is thiamine. Thiamine, also known as vitamin B1, helps our bodies take the food we consume and turn it into energy to use throughout the day. It is an important B vitamin for the growth, development, and function of the cells in our body. If you don't get enough thiamine in your diet, symptoms include weight and appetite loss, muscle weakness, confusion, and heart problems. A severe thiamine deficiency is known as beriberi. Because we add thiamine to grain foods, deficiency is rare in the United States. Another nutrient we get from grain foods is riboflavin. Riboflavin, also known as vitamin B2, is another important vitamin that has a role in the growth, development, and function of our cells, as well as turning food into energy. Again, since many grains are enriched, or whole grain, in the United States, deficiencies are rare. Individuals with deficiencies may have sores in the corner of your mouth, cracked or swollen lips, hair loss, and liver disorders. The next nutrient found in grains is niacin. Niacin is used to help turn the food you eat into energy, as well as the development and function of cells, just like the vitamins we have already talked about. Niacin deficiency can lead to a disease called pellagra. Symptoms include rash around the neck, bright red tongue, vomiting, constipation, diarrhea, headaches, and extreme tiredness. As with other vitamins, deficiency is rare in the United States since it is added to most grains.
Folate is an important B vitamin that the body needs to help make DNA. It is crucial for expecting moms to get enough during pregnancy since it helps reduce the risk of any birth defects in the brain or spine of the fetus. The picture on screen shows the severe effects of what can happen to an infant if an expecting mom does not get enough. Folate has been added to enriched bread since 1998, and since this time, the rate of neural tube defects in the United States has decreased by 25 to 50%. Iron is an important mineral that carries oxygen throughout your entire body to the cells that need it. It also helps remove carbon dioxide from your blood. Iron is very important for young children and babies for brain development and growth. In fact, babies need as much iron as a teenage boy. Studies show that 25% of kids between the ages of 1 and 4 do not get enough iron in their diet. While meats, eggs, and cooked dry beans are the main sources of iron, breads and grains, like fortified cereals, can ensure we get enough each day. Try to pair iron-rich foods with vitamin C from oranges, grapefruit, pineapple, strawberries, or bell peppers. Vitamin C helps your body absorb iron better.
Next is magnesium. Magnesium plays a big role in regulating bodily functions, such as regulating the functioning of your muscles and nerves, blood sugar, and blood pressure. It also helps make sure that your bones stay healthy and strong, as well as your heart. If you do not consume enough magnesium for long periods of time, it can lead to deficiency. Symptoms include loss of appetite, nausea and vomiting, weakness, and fatigue. An extreme deficiency of magnesium can cause abnormal heart rhythms, seizures, muscle cramps, and numbness and tingling. Magnesium is part of more than 300 enzymes in your body. Enzymes help you digest food and then use that food as energy. Our last mineral is selenium. It plays an important role in reproduction, DNA production, and thyroid gland function. It is naturally found in many foods such as breads, cereals, and grain products. There is 2 to 4 times more selenium found in whole wheat flour and whole wheat bread than white flour and white bread. Selenium deficiency can cause a heart disease called Cachon disease, as well as male infertility. It may also cause a type of arthritis called Cachan-Beck disease. This can cause pain, swelling, and loss of motion in your joints. These are just a few of the vitamins and minerals that are found in whole and enriched grains. Whole grains also have the additional nutrients like magnesium and selenium. These vitamins and minerals each have important roles for our bodies and are especially important for the growing bodies of the children you serve. The main way to make sure that you are serving all of these important vitamins and minerals, serve a variety of foods from all food groups. By offering a balanced plate and serving a variety of foods each week, you can guarantee that the kids are getting all the nutrients they need to be healthy and strong. Just a quick side note, there can be some confusion when it comes to grains that are labeled as organic. Organic breads and grains are not usually enriched or fortified. If you buy organic, it is best to buy 100% whole grain choices. Most companies do not enrich any organic grains that are processed. Processed grains that have not been enriched are not credible for the food program. Whole grains such as oats, brown rice, and whole wheat have a higher amount of many of the nutrients we just talked about in them. On days when grains are served and required, make sure that at least one of them is a whole grain. Just be sure to mark whole grains on your menu so you get credit for them. Log into our website at www.daycareresources.org to find lists of whole grain cereals and whole grain foods that are creditable. In order to help kids grow up healthy, we recommend providing them with child-sized portions. The grain serving size chart that we will go over later in this presentation will help you determine if the size you are serving is too small or just right for the child's age. Next, try to serve grains that are high in fat and sugar less often. For example, muffins have more sugar and fat than other choices, such as a slice of bread. If you want to serve a muffin, in order to get the same amount of flour as a 1-ounce slice of bread, a muffin would have to weigh at least 2 ounces. While this meets the grain requirement, it is also adding extra sugar and fat to the child's diet that they do not need. That being said, you are more than welcome to serve more than the minimum required serving size to the children. Let's say that you want to serve a child between the ages of 1 and 5 a sandwich. Sandwiches are usually made with 2 slices of bread, which would be 4 times the portion size that is required for their age. As the daycare provider, you are allowed to cut that sandwich in half, which would then provide them with only a double serving of grains. As long as they are being served the minimum grain requirement for the age group. For a 1 to 5-year-old, that's half of a 1-ounce slice of bread. The minimums help ensure that children are getting the nutrients they need to grow and develop. The goal is to serve a child with a balanced plate. The typical American tends to fill their plate up with a huge amount of meats and grains, with just a tiny amount of vegetables or fruit. USDA's MyPlate shows what a balanced meal looks like. For many Americans, this may be less grains than you are used to. In order to make sure that the children are getting the nutrients they need, as discussed before, a balanced plate is key. Here, we have a picture of what the recommended plate looks like. As you can see, it is about half full with vegetables, with a small portion of grains and meat. This is what a balanced plate should be. It is important to note that serving sizes can vary from brand to brand of the same type of food item. Also, many companies have been making packages and serving sizes smaller to save money. Some serving sizes on the package are too small to meet the CACFP requirement. If you are unsure of how much of a type of grain or how many pretzels, crackers, etc. to serve to a child, you can use the USDA's Exhibit A Grains tool online to help you calculate exactly how much you need. You can use this tool without creating an account, but signing up for a free account will let you save your work in case you want to look back at it in the future. In the next few slides, we will walk you through how to use it. We're going to show you how to log into USDA's Grain tool. This tool can help you figure out exactly how much of a grain you need to serve. To start, visit foodbuyingguide.fns.usda.gov. If you want to be able to save your serving sizes and be able to go back to them at a later time, you will need to create a free profile by clicking the Login or Create a Profile button. You will need to create an account the first time you use it. You do not need to create an account each time. If you choose to not create an account, you may continue as a guest, but be sure to select Childcare in the drop-down. This does not save your work. Once you have done that, click Enter. Now that you are either logged in or visiting as a guest, you will arrive to this page. Click the tab that says Exhibit A Grains tool. Once you have done that, it will take you to this page. You will then select Enter Exhibit A product and continue on. Once on this page, enter the type of item you are searching for in the Item Keywords box. For this example, we are going to use pretzels. Then, click Search or press the Enter button on your keyboard. Choices will pop up for that item. Now that you have searched for the item you want, click Add to choose which item you are actually serving. So for this example, when you type in pretzels, you get the option of soft or hard. We're going to use hard pretzels, so we will click the Add button that is next to it. Once you click Add, the bottom section will appear and you will want to choose the tab that says Amount to Serve. Here, you will enter the product information from the product packaging. For our example, we are using Snyder's Pretzel Snaps, and the nutrition label is located up at the top of the screen for reference. Enriched flour is the first ingredient, so the pretzels will count as a grain for the food program. In the desired grains contribution box, enter the proper serving size based on the age of the children. For ages 1 to 5, you would enter 0.5, which is half-ounce equivalent serving, and for children 6 and older, enter 1 for their 1-ounce equivalent serving size. Next, you will enter the serving size information according to the package nutrition label. So for these pretzel snaps, 1 serving equals 24 pretzels. So you will type in 24 and choose pieces and slices. A single serving weighs 30 grams, so you will type in 30 and choose grams. Once all that information is added, it will calculate the exact number of pretzels to serve in order to equal the minimum serving size. So for this example, 1 serving of Snyder's Pretzel Snaps for a child at 6 or older would be 17.75 pretzels. Instead of breaking a single pretzel into 4 pieces, to make it easier for you, you can serve this child 18 pretzel snaps, since you are still meeting the minimum grain requirement of this item. Let's look at another grain food, Doritos. The first thing you should do is look at the ingredient list to see if it is a creditable item. The very first ingredient is corn. While it is considered a grain, it does not say enriched or whole corn, and therefore is not a creditable grain item. Here we have Calidad corn tortilla chips. When you look at the ingredient list, the first ingredient is corn masa flour, which is a creditable grain. Corn masa flour is a whole grain ingredient, so this product can also count as your whole grain for the day. Now, let's put this item into the grains tool to figure out how many chips equal 1 CACFP serving. Once you are logged in, enter corn chips into the item keyword box and click search. When you search for corn chips, the only option that will come up is tortilla chips, whole wheat or whole corn. Click Add. First off, be sure to click the Amount to Serve tab. Now we're going to enter the nutrition information to figure out how many chips to serve. For this example, let's pretend we are serving chips to a child between the ages of 1 and 5, so we will put 0.5 in the grains contribution box. Next, we will enter the information from the chip package. The serving size is 12, and then select Pieces/Slices from the drop-down menu. 12 chips weigh approximately 28 grams, so enter that into the weight box, and then select grams from the drop-down menu. To serve a child between the ages of 1 and 5, a half-ounce equivalent, you would need to serve them 6 chips each. Let's do one more example. This time, we will do Teddy Grahams. First, let's look at the ingredients to make sure that it is a creditable grain. The first ingredient is whole grain wheat flour, so we can use it. This will also count as your whole grain for the day. Now, let's look at the grains tool. When searching for the item keyword, you will type in graham, since they are graham crackers, and click search. Like the chips, only one option will come up, so click Add.
After selecting the item you are using, click the Amount to Serve tab. For this example, we will use a child who is age 6 or older, so we enter 1 in the grains contribution box. Next, enter the information from the package. The serving size is 24 crackers, so select Pieces or Slices from the drop-down menu. 24 crackers weigh 30 grams, so enter that into the weight box and select grams from the drop-down menu. To serve a child who is 6 or older, a 1-ounce equivalent equals 22.5 Teddy Grams. To make it easier for you, you can serve them 23 so you are not splitting Teddy Grams in half.
If you want a quick way to estimate grain serving sizes, look at the grain serving size chart inside the Go with the Grain handout. To use it, first, you're going to find the grain item that you are wanting to use. It will be located in the grain item column, which is on the left side of the chart. If you are wanting to serve a grain item and cannot find it listed, please contact the DCR office to find out if it is creditable. We are more than happy to help you out. Once you have found your item, find the serving size for the age groups you are serving. The second column lists how much of that grain item is required for a child between the ages of 1 and 5 to meet the half-ounce serving, and the last column shows the minimum requirement to equal a 1-ounce serving for any child who is age 6 or older. Since serving sizes can vary for different brands, it states how many grams or ounces it takes to count as a serving right underneath the estimated portion size. This way, you can compare it to the serving size on the package. You must serve at least the minimum serving size that is on the chart. Now that we have gone over where to locate the information on the chart, we will go over some of the items that are listed. The first item we will go over is bagels. A serving for a 1 to 5-year-old is 14 grams. If your bagel weighs 56 grams, you only need 1/4 of a bagel. For children older than 6, a serving is 28 grams. If your bagel weighs 56 grams, that is half a bagel. If you are serving bagels to children in the ages 1 to 5 category, instead of splitting bagels into fourths, you may want to get mini bagels that weigh at least 28 grams each. This may be a little bit of an easier and more convenient way to serve bagels, since you would just be giving the young kids half of one and give the children who are older than 6 a full bagel. Be sure to check the nutrition label of the bagel brand you are serving to make sure it meets the required grain requirement. Next is sliced bread. For a child ages 1 to 5, a half-ounce equivalent serving is about half a slice of bread. The school-age children would need about 1 slice. Be sure to check the nutrition label of the specific brand you are using. For example, 1 slice of Wonder Bread is 28 grams, but 1 slice of Great Value 100% whole wheat bread is only 26 grams a slice. Therefore, you would have to serve more than 1 slice to meet the minimum grain serving for a school-aged child. This goes to show that not all products are the same, so it is important to read the nutrition labels. Let's talk about breakfast cereals. When we look at cereals, you will see that there are 4 different types. Flakes are grains that are crushed and rolled out flat into flakes. Examples include cornflakes and shredded wheat, which is flaked and formed into biscuits. Rounds are grains that are formed into O shapes, such as Cheerios. Puffed cereals are grains that are popped or extruded into light, fluffy shapes. Popped cereals include puffed wheat, Chex, Life, Crispix, Kix, and Rice Krispies. They are the lightest and have the largest serving size. Granola are heavy and dense nuggets. They are the heaviest and have the smallest serving size. The serving sizes for cereals all weigh the same. For example, a 1 to 5-year-old needs ½ ounce of cereal and a school-aged child needs 1 ounce. However, the measurement in cups is different because some cereals are lighter than others. You can use the measuring cup serving sizes if you don't have time to read labels or don't want to weigh foods. A ½ ounce equivalent for children ages 1 to 5 for flakes and rounds is ½ a cup, and 1 cup for children older than 6. For puffed cereal, a ½ ounce equivalent is 3/4 cup and 1 1/4 cup for children older than 6. Since granola is the heaviest kind of cereal, the serving size is the smallest. For granola, it is 1/8 cup to equal a ½ ounce equivalent serving for children ages 1 to 5 and a 1/4 cup for children older than 6. Keep in mind, no matter what kind of cereal you serve, all breakfast cereals must have 6 grams or less sugar in 1 dry ounce to count them as your grain on your menu. Let's move on to pancakes. If your pancake weighs 34 grams, a ½ ounce equivalent serving for a child between the ages of 1 and 5 would be half of a pancake. For the older children, a 1 ounce equivalent would be 1 full 34-gram pancake. Again, be sure to check the nutrition label if you are buying pre-made pancakes. To help decrease excess added sugar, try serving pancakes with fruit instead of sugary syrup or chocolate chips. No matter what shape of pasta you serve, the serving sizes are the same. When we say dry pasta, this means pasta straight from the box that has not been cooked yet. For children between the ages of 1 and 5, a ½ ounce equivalent would be a 1/4 cup cooked pasta or 14 grams of dry pasta. For children older than 6, a 1 ounce equivalent serving would be half a cup of cooked or 28 grams of dry pasta. The USDA started allowing popcorn to count as a grain in 2019. A half ounce equivalent would be 1.5 cups or 14 grams, and a 1 ounce equivalent for children older than 6 would be 3 cups, which equals 28 grams. Keep in mind that popcorn should not be served to kids ages 2 and under to meet DCFS regulations on choking hazards. Not all taco shells and tortillas are created equally. If you are going to serve them, be sure to check the size, as well as what the tortilla or shell is made of. Is it made of flour or is it made of corn? Then look at the size. Is it the tiny 5.5-inch one, the medium 6-inch one, or the large 8-inch size? Let's look at Old El Paso taco shells. Since the first ingredient listed is corn that has been treated with lime, this product counts on the food program as a whole grain. Since 3 shells weighs 32 grams, that's about a 1 ounce serving for a 6 to 12-year-old. For the younger age group, you can serve 1.5 taco shells or 2 if you don't want to break any in half. That wraps up our overview of grain equivalents. If you have any questions, such as how to figure out what counts as a serving for your specific brand, or if a grain is creditable, feel free to contact Daycare Resources. We are available by phone, email, or ask your program advisor during your next visit. Now that you have watched this video, be sure to take the test. Thank you for listening and have a great day!